Okay, so when you think about mental health, a lot of people don't want to be transparent about it. Like I said, in an earlier, conversation and interview, the mental health aspect of incarceration is deep because a lot of men don't want to admit that they have issues and problems when it comes to talking about mental health. For me, losing my daughter, losing my grandfather, losing some friends. I lost my grandmother, my father, even though I wasn't that close to him. I mean, all of these losses, it's like you can't go see him because of policies, especially when COVID came. But all these policies are geared to pretty much be against the norm of what you would normally do outside. Like if my mother was to pass away today, God forbid, I can jump in my car and I can go see her. I can plan the funeral. I can do all these other things. That's whoever. It could be friends, other family members. And when that's taken away from you, that's another part of fear of loss. Because if I can't at least be shackled and handcuffed and go and just see my mother's body in that situation, that plays a huge role in your mentality. Now, you go through your incarceration wanting to think about, all the positive things, removing the negative in that situation. But you got to remember at night when you're away from the norm and everything quiets down and everything is quiet, you have these voices, you have these thoughts, you have all of these things going on in your head. And I had a lot of sleepless nights. I mean, just taking somebody's life, there's not a day that goes by I don't think about that. I suffered depression. I wanted to kind of like exile myself mentally and physically away from everybody. Now, the physical aspect of being away from people, I could not do that because I was in a situation where I had to be around people. I had to have a cellmate. I had to go to work. I had to do these things that were expected of me from administration being incarcerated. But the challenge was overcoming all of the mental strain that it took to make it through that place. You on the phone, people are hooping and hollering. You got this set of people, beating the crap out of somebody. You walk into the chow hall and you got to wonder if a dude that you bumped into is going to stab you in the back. I mean, all of those, or the fear of losing somebody. All of those things right there set in bouts of depression. I never wanted to talk about, the mental health part because, it made me feel weak to even know that I allowed this situation to conquer my mentality. I'm like, man, my mama raised alpha dogs. My grandfather and them, my uncles, I mean, they all raised us to be strong. But one of the things that I feel is missing in the Black community is we need to have transparency about our feelings. To this day, I still go through battles of depression. There are days I don't want to get out of my bed. There are days I don't want to answer my phone. Like I want to just throw my phone in the trash can and leave it there for a week. And then when I get ready to take the trash out, pull my phone out, and then I can always, talk to people and contact them if I want to. When I first came home, not being able to consume alcohol. Alcohol when I came home was an escape. I mean, I didn't abuse it to the point to where I depended on it, but there were days that I would sit back and I would drink it just because I could. And I would get myself into a space to where I was intoxicated and I forgot about it for a little while. But I had to catch myself because I didn't want to go down that path of alcoholism that so many people that I know have went down. It's a struggle every day. And you can't unsee and unremember things that had happened in your past. All you can do is just know that you went through the things you went through and the Most High brought you through that situation for a reason. I'm here for a reason. And I'm not going to allow, my bouts with depression, my battles with the things that I've done to people and the harm that I've done. All I can understand is I've forgiven myself for what I've done. People have forgiven me for bringing harm to their lives. And I just got to press on. But the mental health aspect of going through trauma, it's like PTSD with the military. Like people in the military, they do things, they witness things, they have to endure things, but then when they come home, that's baggage is with you. But I always say having therapy is major. You know, talking about things. I guess that's why one of the reasons I like barbering and cutting hair, because not only is it therapy for me, but it's also therapy for them, because when people talk about things that are bothering them or things they struggle with, they'll get out of that chair and they'll look good, they'll feel better, they'll have a new set of energy and a whole nother like transfusion of encouragement. So that's one of the things that I encourage people. Like if you're battling with mental health, understand that it's real. It's not going anywhere. You cannot run from it. You know, get a therapist, talk to somebody. Do whatever you need to do to get yourself the necessary help that you need. And I promise you it'll start making you feel a lot better.